yeah, face to face is not possible right now. So he was born in the small town of Kadalur in Tamil Nadu, and after obtaining his bachelor's degree in chemistry and a brief stint in the family business, he decided to venture out on his own. After a challenging start, he finally set up Chick India in 1983 with the investment of rupees 15,000. And during our MBA days in 92, 94, we actually studied about the Chick sachet and how that actually cornered the huge market share, and HLL and the big ones had to fight for gaining back the market share. So Chick shampoo is his introductory product. The company was renamed Beauty Cosmetics Private Limited in 1990 and subsequently as CavinKare in 1998. A pioneer in innovation, CKR has shaped the company to create innovative products by using technology and nature. And under his leadership, CavinKare has actually forayed into businesses, food, beverages, dairies, both in domestic and international markets. He was conferred the Entrepreneur of the Year by ET in 2004 and also the winner of the ICIS World Surfactants Award. He was a former president of MMA, the Madras Management Association, and the CII chairman, Tamil Nadu State Council, and also the founding member of Ability Foundation, which is an NGO focused on the differently abled people. What I think TiE can learn and what is inspiring is that in order to encourage the spirit of entrepreneurship, CKR has instituted the Chinni Krishnan Innovation Awards in 2011 in memory of his father, the late Sri Chinni Krishnan. The award seeks to identify and promote entrepreneurs running small businesses built on innovative ideas. So with this brief introduction, I could go on forever, but I think everybody is focused on hearing CKR speak. So with this brief introduction, I would ask CKR to now talk about how he's navigating through these COVID times and what is his take on the future. And we'll have a brief 30 minutes talk by CKR, and then we'll open it out to Q&A for about 15 to 20 minutes. So over to you, CKR. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Naveen and Ajit. It's nice of you to give a very liberal intro. Good evening, friends. It's a pleasure talking to you and sharing some of my experiences. I hail from a coastal town called Kadalur, near Pondicherry. I think it's my childhood was very eventful. I did everything right other than studies. So playful, lot of pets, all kind of things. And eventually, I think I failed in subjects. So very, very mediocre in studies. That was one of my mother's worry in those days, that I was the only ailing son of her, not studying well, what I will do, and so on. So I also grew with a lot of inferiority complex because my brothers and sisters used to study very well in English medium. I was the one who was studying in Tamil medium. So that was one negative. But nevertheless, I think those who are behind college, I went to college and finished off. By when I was in second year, my father died of heart attack, and family didn't have money to run the business, and family wanted to close down the business what he started off. The bankers, they approached the bankers. My father took a small loan of 2 lakhs from the bankers. Bankers said, pay the money or else we have to take the house where you live in and auction it and recover the money. That was what was given as security in those days. So my brothers said, okay, we can't afford to let go of our image and let's run the business. That's how I think we should thank our bankers who said without any mercy that either you run or you have to kind of pay me the money. And the rest is history. My brothers took the business to greater height, and that was Velvet. And after that, when I finished my graduation, I joined the family business. By the time itself I joined, the business started doing well. The packaged shampoo started picking up well. And I joined the family business. I was there for a few months, not even a year. Lot of feud amongst brothers. So because I was younger, and that quite naturally, I think you need to toe the lines of elders. That's a Hindu hierarchical family culture. And I couldn't go along with that. I used to ask, which is not right, means not right, kind of this thing. So eventually I said, okay, let me go out of family. The way to unnecessarily quarrel with brothers, let me go out and start something on my own. And I went with 15,000 rupees, whichever I earned as salary in the family business, and started my own. So that's how my journey started. It was a tough journey, but I think that paved way for my growth. It was initially very difficult and a lot of challenges, and much more challenging than the COVID times. I think that's life or death kind of a distinct problems. But I think having come through that, the COVID is not that much of a great challenge. It is definitely a challenge. And I think we could able to navigate reasonably well. So we have, one of the things I would say in the whole journey, I learned few things. It is important you listen to your gut feel quite often and take the right calls. You don't need to learn, you don't need to know everything jumping into the well. But as long as you are willing to learn quickly and correct your mistakes, and you will progress very well. This is one very big learning. And I think what is right for people, if you start doing it, people will follow you and they will have a respect for you. Then that's how you build a team around and move on. That is one quick learning. So I also believed in R&D, research and development. And that has helped quite a lot in building a very strong CavinKare. So when I started off, I didn't have great R&D. It was just a building, small rented house, and hired fresh chemistry graduate, first R&D scientist, then MSc, like that one by one. Few years we were only having BSc and MSc chemistry graduates for our R&D. And later we went on to hire PhDs. Today, 1/3 of our R&D is PhDs. And we have 120 people. When I say R&D, it's purely R&D, no quality assurance, nothing of that sort. So it is R&D related work. And we continuously file quite a lot of patents. Otherwise, it is not easy to beat the competition. Very, very difficult to beat multinationals who are very, very vast experience across various continents of the globe. And they know which works, which doesn't work. They know how to adapt to the local culture. And they have huge strength of scientists across the world in different parts of the countries, various countries. So if you are to beat them, you need to have a very, very different thing. So we came with one philosophy. And that is very strong. That helped us very, very, even today, that is our guiding post. If you are to beat a strong competition, whether it is a multinational or a very strong Indian company, the rules of the game is very simple. Either we should have a significantly different product or significantly differentiated product or significantly better product. Same product, but very good in quality. So this is a guiding principle for us. So in other words, what we say, equal product, that is also equal, this is also equal product. We said that's not on. We don't want equal product. We want a differentiated product or significantly better product. So this helped us quite a lot in terms of every time we have a product, we'll say, is it significantly better or is it this thing? Equal product, then okay, if it is equal, we'll say, where is the differentiation we can show? If the product is 100 rupees quoted my competition, we'll say, can we come and price the product at 50 rupees? Disruption in price point. That's the differentiation we can bring. Either a price differentiation or a quality differentiation or a functional differentiation in terms of delivery, some of the things that consumer doesn't expect. We can deliver such kind of things. So one such thing, if you look at, we have our Indica hair colors. And we are the first one to come out with a 10 minutes hair color. Hair color means coloring means 30 minutes, 45 minutes you have to sit. So we came out with that disruption. That was a patented product. And I think that worked well. After that, few people tried. Nobody could succeed in that market. Only we could able to continuously sell. There is no alternative in terms of 10 minutes hair color in this thing. So then this is a kind of new innovations we come out with that. I think that really helped us a lot. So this philosophy is very important. Another one we focus big time is on distribution. And in FMCG, I think distribution will define your altitude. The better the distribution, better quality of distribution, that will really help you. So we constantly built our distribution and started improving the reach of nook and corner of the country. I think that really helped us to build our business very consistently. And the third one we did right is marketing. So marketing is an important part of it. So how we built the marketing thing in terms of developing communications, working with very good quality advertising agencies. But eventually, off late, nowadays we don't work with the ad agencies. We work with freelancers only. So our advertisements, whether it is production to everything, it's all almost, we have a lot of internal creatives. And quality of product and advertisements are very good. We are very happy with that. Customer rates them well. Consistently, we go to the customer and check with them as to how they like the ad vis-a-vis competition. So that also is a very important thing. So this way, I think we have built a very strong distribution network. Also, we have one more product. I don't know whether you are aware or tasted, called CavinKare. It's a milkshake. And CavinKare's milk is quite popular. Even Kerala also, I think we sell reasonably well. And we have another product called mango drink called Ma. That is also sells reasonably well in Kerala. So the CavinKare is a very thick milkshake, first of its kind. Nobody was there like that before. And market caught fancy. We hold close to 75% of market share today in terms of this thick milkshakes. So what I would like to say is, if you come with a differentiated product, you will hold a large market. So I can quote a lot of examples like that. Our Mira herbal powder, we are the largest, and nobody competing between Mira and Kartika herbal powder, hair wash powder. We are a monopoly. Nobody there in the market. And Mira Shikakai shampoo, Kumbukai shampoos, and so on, with local flavors. And we are there. We are fully there. Nobody with that kind of an offering is able to sell. So that, I think, is this thing. And Mira over a period of time grew. Today Mira is is close to a 300 crore brand. And similarly, Chick, what we started off originally, Chick is coined after my father's name, Chinni Krishnan. So that is today over a 300 crore brand in size. And that started off in a sachet. And I can tell you something, it's a phenomenal cost management we did. And it was introduced in the year 1998, a 50 paise shampoo we introduced when we had a 1 rupee. And that really helped us a lot in terms of today, even after 22 years, we sell the same 50 paise shampoo. We have not increased the price. And our gross margin, you will be surprised, we could make close to 45% gross margin on that product. So that all I would like to say, even after 22 years of introduction, same 50 paise, same 1 rupee, our margins are healthier. And nothing more you can say. Inflation, so much of inflation happened, we are able to beat the inflation. So that, I think, is a very important point in terms of, if you have absolute cost control, you can do wonders. The other this thing I would like to say, instead of dwelling on the past, I will now come to the present, the COVID. So the COVID-19, when it was in Wuhan, in December itself, we started following through. And we started developing the kind of thing. In January itself, we started getting the feel that it's going to be big. This is going to disrupt the market. When I started talking to many of my friends, well-wishers and other businessmen, nobody believed. They said, I'm blowing out of proportion. So that is what people have thought. That's okay. Nothing wrong in that, because it is each one thinks with a very different lens. Fortunately, I am a chemistry graduate. I understand chemistry. I understand microbiology. I know how it is working. The more and more I came to know about the species character of the kind of thing, corona, I could able to predict that this is going to be a pandemic. So we started looking at that, and in terms of equipping ourselves, work from home. So in February, around February first week, we are ready to work from home. So we alerted our IT department and said, keep it ready. We will be forced to work from home. So did that. By March 4th and 5th, it was very clear this is going to happen. So 16th onwards, March 16th onwards, we started moving to home. We said, okay, let's start getting into working from home itself. So we between February first week and March, we did series of every function. We make them to work and tried all these things. By March 16th, we went kind of thing. 20th, we went full swing. We closed the office. 20th onwards, we were full swing work from home. Lockdown came only on 24th night. So that we are happy. So having predicted, we also predicted that we looked at what are all the products that will do well. So we looked at the kind of this thing, the SARS virus and the Ebola. Whenever those hit the regions, what happened after the market during that time and after that? We started reading a lot of literatures and data about how the SARS, the consumer behavior during SARS and post-SARS, during Ebola and post-Ebola. Two kind of products that did very well. The hygiene and cleanliness product. Anything that is relating to hygiene and cleanliness, driving cleanliness, I think they started doing very well. And the other set is health and wellness, any immunity boosters. Those kind of products started doing well. So we started tipping the R&D in February itself, keep it ready, all these things. So by March 5th, first we said sanitizers will launch. Till 4th, we were not kind of thing fully prepared. 5th, we said we called for a meeting and said we are going to launch. Let's swing on a war footing basis. 20th, we made our first invoice in the sanitizer. Filed this thing, license filed, all the materials organized, everything. 20th, we did the first invoice. And during the pandemic, all our factories were running. Because we started proactively applying license, government said all the factories closed, but essential commodities can run. So sanitizers became essential commodities. We were able to run the factory. There's one thing we are able to manage by not stopping. Of course, a lot of raw material coming is a difficulty. Lorries were held up. Our suppliers were closed. They were not allowed to function. Like that, a lot of hiccups were there. But I think we could able to reasonably do. So after that, we started working on this series of products. In April, we introduced, between April and May, we introduced 2 products additionally. 2 other products we introduced. Now in June, we are going to introduce 3 more products. So it is rolling out. In July, we are going to introduce another 2 more products. So we have lined up series of products which can get into the market one by one. As you talk, you will get to hear from that also. We are the first one to launch again sanitizer in a sachet, 1 rupee sachet, and also we are now introduced a 50 paise sachet also. Both are available in sanitizer. And if you travel by jet or this thing, SpiceJet or Jet Airways, not Jet Indigo, you'll be given chick sanitizer free, sachets free. You'll be given. So is here. You would have heard quite a lot about that. Very important thing is this is going to stay here, and the way the mindset makes a huge difference for us. So we said what we are going to do during to combat with the corona. So one of the important thing is first week of April we announced we are ahead. We everywhere if you look at we went ahead in terms of doing something very different. First week of April. I had a second call with my team. During that time, I announced everybody that office will no longer open. We are going to permanently close our office. No more offices. We are going to work henceforth from home. That was a bold call. But after we announced, 10 days, 15 days later, we started seeing in paper TCS is going to do slowly till 25. Now US, a lot of companies have started coming out. So that is a very important thing. We could able to see the benefits of work from home. Productivity has jumped by 40 to 50%. Cost has dramatically dropped on our office related cost. We spend on an average 15,000 rupees per seat for our corporate office, right from rent, electricity, repairs and maintenance, all food and other expenses all put together. So that I think is a straight saving. And look at from an employee side, they save unnecessary travel time, minimum about 45 minutes up and down 1.5 hours a day. You don't pollute the kind of environment by traveling by car or two-wheeler, whatever it is maybe. Then it is also saving on the conveyance expense for the kind of employees. And they can be with the family. That is also an important thing. All these benefits, and also from a company's perspective, we can now go and hunt for talent anywhere. Our economic prosperity need not be only Chennai. Our head office is in Chennai. Now it can be spread across the country. So it can be small town, it can be big town, very good talent who are not ready to shift to a big town. I think we are able to do. So eventually, I think there are a lot of benefit in terms of getting talent anywhere. And also over a period of time, cost of talent also will come down because we are going across, not necessarily only Chennai based. So that I think work from home has a lot of benefit. Now we have embraced that to say that we are going to work from, we are very audacious to say that we are going to work from home. We are letting down, now we have put this thing to let down our corporate office. We have told the brokers to scout for suitable partners who would like to occupy our corporate office. And by June, July end, we will be out of this kind of thing. The government has announced, opened the kind of this thing, said now our offices can function. We said nobody is going to, we have not opened our office. Our office continued to get closed. We continue to work from office. Everything was going so smooth and continued to go, and no issues at all. This is one thing we did. And added to that, I think we took a very aggressive stance on cutting down on fixed cost, running cost. Cutting wastages, cutting costs is a very, very important thing. As an entrepreneur, one needs to look at with the team that which are the wasteful expenditure, which are the wasteful, unproductive team, everything, whether it is people or this thing, you need to float. Government said, you have to pay everybody. So we held on to that word. We said we'll pay salary kind of thing, no issues on that. But you don't need to compromise on productivity or the unnecessary overheads, all these things. But work from home has boosted our productivity by 30 to 40% minimum. And that is a big revelation for us. And meetings were far more efficient. We use Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is one meeting to another within seconds. 3 seconds, 4 seconds, you are in the next meeting. In the physical meeting, one team to go out and the next team coming in, they will be waiting for till the meeting is over, all time based. Here, people are at their home, they work, and they can, the moment the team is there, kind of a thing, they can do that, or they can log into the meeting. If people are not coming till, they can put it on mute and keep working. Nothing happens. So that way, I think productivity levels have dramatically jumped. This is one big this thing for us. Another thing is that earlier we used to call our people, we used to call them for a conference room, and people will not be sufficiently kind of thing, space won't be available and so on. Now in a kind of Microsoft Teams meeting, we are able to get 3,000 people, 2,000 people, no issues in one go. It is easy to kind of meet them just in a jiffy, anytime. If I want to meet them now, if I say now, another next 30 minutes, if you have to kind of sing, message can be sent. If people who are free, they can come and join. And that's the way I think it's so fast and easy. In a physical meeting, these are all you can't dream of, not easy. So the fortnightly town hall meetings we started doing, and now that is a very important thing, to communicate more and more, align with the staff, listen to them. These are also one important thing. And take care of their health aspect of it. Whatever possible, give them the support in terms of if they are their family members or somebody is this thing by corona, company should put all its efforts to help them out to come out of that. So that is why luckily we didn't had any this thing in our office. But people having spent their time at home itself, 2 of our office members and their family got corona. And I think we are putting our best efforts in helping them. Nothing to worry danger-wise, because they are all youngsters. But on the factory side, no factory, nothing has happened. All are this thing out of danger is what I would say. No issues so far. And we follow very stringent protocols. So what we did is, to succeed in this time, one of the things we look at, you have to adapt to the new products. What is market required? I can't go and say irrelevantly talk. In this time, when everybody is wearing a mask, will I go and sell my lipstick? Very wrong. There's no point in selling a lipstick when people are going to close their mouth. That's not this thing. That's not the right thing to talk. So talk something which is relevant. So sanitizer, gadget sanitizer, surface sanitizers. So we are having another 3-4 products that's coming out one by one, which are very relevant and topical in terms of immunity boosters, drinks and health products. All these things, I think, is leveraging our current this thing. How fast we will be able to come out with that is what we are looking at. Very happy to say that our R&D is a big strength. Similarly, our distribution, our sales team is also making a big difference. Also marketing and the entire team members, but these are very important for FMCG. R&D, sales, marketing makes a very, very important this thing in making, defines the FMCG strength. If one of them are weak, you are weak. If all the 3, it is like triangular thing, all the 3 need to be very, very strong. Then you will be somewhere. So that is, in a nutshell, I would talk a very important thing as far as FMCG industry is concerned. So the other thing is that it's a fighting spirit. That I think is a very important thing. The mindset is, we don't accept any excuses. One of the golden rule we said, anything new, this is very important. I think you would also, I would like you to kind of definitely observe this statement. Anything new, the company will feel the senior most resources and the most talented resources will be fielded. Anything routine, the company will push it down and down to the junior most. That means routine, 10 times it has been done, 11th time the senior most should not do. Very basic. If it is new, then even if it is the senior most, means if I am very experienced, much more this thing, no, it's not the title. How can chairman will come? I have to be fielded. I will go there and do it. So that's very important. So we embrace this principle during COVID times. That means COVID times, a lot of new things. We created a war room. People started coming and asking me quickly solution. So no question of no delay we accepted. People need to move fast. Oh, that material is held up there. That vendor is not giving what to do. So immediately they'll come. We created a war room. That war room people can approach. And this is what it is, kind of the thing. They can have any small issues or hiccups they face, they have to quickly tell us. We will swing into action and solve that. So that's the way we made things happen. New products, the senior most people, we all came together, we started pushing it. That's why I'm telling you, 14-15 days, we are able to launch one product. So these are all possible when the senior most talents are fielded. If we have delegated it like before to a middle level, I think it would have taken 4 or 5 months time. So in my viewpoint, this pandemic will take another about 9 to 12 months time. It's not going to go away so easily. And vaccine itself, assuming on a conservative this thing, if you are lucky, we will be able to get it in 9 months time, by Jan, February, something like that. If you are able to get next year, Jan, February, after that, the vaccine to be produced for 9 billion people. And that coming and injecting to so many people, it takes its own time, so many nurses and doctors. Eventually, it will be a 6 to 9 months game from the time vaccine is produced to the last human being to be vaccinated on the earth. So we don't know in which line we are. The big countries, those who are inventing, they will have their own country women will be fulfilled. After that only our countries, our friendly countries will come. Here also, to reach our last person in the village, it will take its own time. So this is a thing. One thing we said, we said to ourselves, we are not going to wait for sun to rise. So sunset is here to stay, and this is how it will be. It is difficult. Material coming is difficult. Moving people, getting people is difficult. So that person won't come. He's held up there, and that kind of thing is a day-to-day problem. It's a struggle we went through. And he said, still, in spite of that, we have to do. So in April, we did only 14%. For 14th afterwards, only open. A lot of markets were closed, and still we did close to about 65-70% of our normal sales. And in May, we have done close to 75-80% of normal sales. Our saloons are completely closed. If I negate that, we did close to 80%. June we may be growing. So June is what we are expecting. In May, so far already we are very clear. So far we are in personal care, which is the main division, we have been growing at 3% over last year. So that is possible. I think if you play it well, it is possible, is what we believe. And June, I think we are expecting to grow by 20%. And not an exaggeration, but with the kind of topical products coming in, it is a possibility. But salons and all won't grow. That I think it will be struggling. Only when government allows, only it will happen. So a lot of places not allowed. So with this, I think I can say one thing. If you are determined, if you are very clearly able to see what is coming, if you are not afraid, if you boldly approach things, you can overcome any difficulty easily, including this pandemic. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks a lot, CKR. Very interesting talk, and more interesting to learn that 65-70% of the business, without having the salons and working at all, got done in April and May, and presumably a 20% growth in June. That's amazing. I don't think too many businesses will be able to even think of numbers like that. There are a couple of questions from the participants, so I'll dive into the first question. So one is from probably somebody who's just starting up. So he wanted to know, what is your advice to startups during this time? I mean, in terms of kicking off anything.
Great opportunities. Quite a lot of opportunities are available. So you need to identify. If there is a need, if you can fulfill that need, I think start. There is no different timings. As we say, we are kickstarting 2 small businesses experiments in the next 15 days time. 2 different divisions. So that I think is a very important thing. People would laugh at, why would somebody try a new one at this juncture? We are very confident it works. We don't want to wait. So we would like to experiment that and move on. We feel that we have a gold mine in those new initiatives. So we are trying those 2 new initiatives, not the new products. It's a new business I'm talking. It's a new business. So products is easy. New business, that means entirely new resource, new way of doing things that we are doing. So that is, I think it's a possibility. We see quite a lot of opportunities, many things we are holding on, but these are low hanging fruit. That means these businesses, when we invest the capital, we may be able to get the capital back in 3.5 to 5 months time. That's the kind of business I'm talking. Wow. So if it takes about 3 years, 2.5 years, we will not be in a hurry to do this thing. So if you're starting a business, do something which can throw the capital much early, earn much more fast. That means high margin, low risk. That's the point I would like to say. So we typically look at, when these kind of pandemic times, to give you a ballpark number, something above 65 to 60 to 70, 75 level percentage of margin would be a very preferred thing.
One of the participants wanted to know, what is your success rate in terms of new product or new businesses that you've kicked off?
Close to 60%. Ours is very high.
Okay.
Our success ratio is higher. We do quite a lot of homework. And I think our consumer approach, that's why I said we don't have an advertising agency at all. So our people directly go on meet. Our scientists meet the customers directly. Our marketing people meet customer directly. Our scientists will speak the marketing language. The culture is very different in our organization. It is not marketing will say, I only know customer, you all don't know. What I say, you produce the kind of product. No, R&D will challenge marketing. So that way, I think we understand. For example, for making a product, our R&D scientists will meet minimum 200 to 300 customers and personally give them samples, evaluate, get feedback. And based on that, they will say that now I am confident. Our R&D traveling budget is equal to marketing traveling budget.
Wow.
So go somewhere in Kanpur, Pune, you name it, some village, remote village in UP, Rajasthan, they'll go and do that, meet the customers, also give the product, ask them to use it, all kind of these things they kind of think. So typically scientists don't move out of their chair in many organizations, 99% of the organizations, I can tell you. Our scientists are trained, tuned, culture in such a way right from day one. You should be ready to go and meet the customer anywhere. If you are not there, you are not CavinKare scientists.
One of the questions all the way from Germany was, under this work from home culture, how do you manage R&D? I mean, do they also, or they have to come to the factory and work, and how do they?
R&D is a challenging one, but we managed to we went to the government and approached them, said it's a continuous process industry. If it stop, it will affect. And also we had the essential commodities like the sanitizers and so on. This requires to be supported. So they gave permission instead of 33%, when the closing is there, they gave permission for 50% of the people to come on board. Even today we are working with 50%. Balance 50% are studying from home.
Okay.
So studying and guiding the people, because they have enough materials to study. In our thing, one thing I can say, our R&D scientists, there is a compulsory time. They come to office at 10 o'clock. 10 to 11, they all have a fixed schedule for reading, because that is where they get the knowledge. All the research papers, filed by various competition or various universities or organizations, all these things they will read on technical literature, technical books. They will read and update themselves. Then what happens is every day they will read that. That means by doing this, we have allocated 40 days in a year is their learning time. 40 days, full days, working day. So they will come and make a presentation on every Friday as to what they have learned to an August forum. And that forum will consist of few senior people who will grill them whether they have learned well. And also, this is the knowledge I learned. And they have to argue as to how they are going to use the knowledge for the benefit of the organization. So this is very important. The technique and the methodology we built it is very powerful in such a way. The knowledge is learned. One end it's a theory. One end I meet the customer. Therefore I get a lot of practical wisdom. These all clubbed together, I think they are able to come out with powerful products. So
the other question was somebody who wanted to start his own FMCG line. So what is the best way to create a distribution channel, was the question that was asked.
I think creating a distribution channel is a long haul. One need to invest. I think that's very important. I would rather say do that, appoint people, good quality stockists, good sales representatives who would go and sell the product in the marketplace. But very important nowadays, the easy thing, level playing field is the e-commerce. Get into e-commerce, you piggyback on their distribution. You get hosted at Amazon, Flipkart, or the Nykaas of the world. So then it's easy for you, in terms of that. That's one big thing that you take out. The next thing is, do you have the product development capability? Do you know how to market it? Do you know who is your customer? What they like? All these things are there. You can really build the brand. It's not a big deal. That is why if you know, Naveen, one important thing, in e-commerce, not only in India, worldwide, most of the categories, 80% of the categories It is not the market player who are dominant in that. It's the startup who is dominant market share.
That's true.
So even in shampoo, if you look at the largest selling shampoo in India, you would not have heard of. It's not Pantene. It is not the Dove. Nothing of the Indian brands or L'Oreal or which is advertised. It is a shampoo called Wow. Have you heard of a brand name called WOW?
Yeah.
Wow shampoo. So like that, I'm just telling you, it's various categories we can quote, and that belongs to the entrepreneurs. So e-commerce is where they play level playing field. Not even level playing. I think the corporates are finding it difficult to compete with the entrepreneurs. So any startup, I would recommend e-commerce very, very strongly.
So coming to the next question as to what percentage of your products go through e-commerce?
First is very less. Now we are restructuring it. We are also having the same disease like any corporate. 3% of our sales is from e-commerce. However, this year our ambition is exit. We would like to have a 10%. By March 21, we would like to triple that.
One of the questions that there in everybody's mind, and the question that popped up is that in this work from home culture, do the employees lose out as a sense of belonging, the sense of meeting each other, having their office chit chats? Is that something that's going missing, and would that be sustainable?
Yeah, I think you have to facilitate that. What we are telling is we are going to offer a facilitation once in a month. The department concerned, the functions concerned can come and meet together, and that's once in a month. And same once in a month also, because that may be one time. Once in a month, the entire business unit can meet together. So you come there. I said you come there. You have a discussion. You will say what are the plans, how we are doing. Share all this. The business head shares with the team. Anybody wants to have a Q&A, town hall meeting, discussions, cultural and all. Then have dinner and drinks in the evening.
Okay.
So fine. You have a lot of enjoyment, dance, and then go back and work. So one time it's within a function you meet. One time as a business unit you meet twice in a month. Still, it is far cheaper.
That's true. So during this COVID times, there's been enormous amount of job losses. You take sectors like the airline industry, the hotel, tourism, automobile, small retail. There's been a whole lot of job losses. This is a more question as to what would your advice be to the government of India in terms of tackling this job loss and hence the spending, GDP, everything taking a hit?
Job loss has already happened.
I know, so, but is there something to recover that?
Recovery, I think it is the faster. One of the important thing I would say, world, not only this, it is beyond the level the pandemic cannot be controlled by the government. Government need to recognize that.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say that government need to tell the people that it is up to you. You have to manage. You have to protect yourself. I'm not going to protect you. I'm not going to put a police and all these things. Absolutely. All I can facilitate is I can open up n number of hospitals and facilities for you to come and kind of see anybody who is getting affected. I can facilitate all these things. But your duty is to ensure that you safeguard yourself. You want to fly more buses, I will do. Social distancing is very important. I will fly more buses, more trains. So that you are not going in a kind of this thing. Too many people are not traveling within the very, very small bus. So those kind of things government need to facilitate. If that shift happens, whenever that happens, the maturity amongst the people will happen very fast. If you look at the countries which have done very well in terms of controlling the pandemic, the people have taken control, not the government.
Absolutely. I think Sweden is one example, or Germany.
The more the people take control, I think then they conduct themselves much more carefully, the pandemic can be controlled. Government puts police everywhere. I'm going to lock down here. I'm going to do this as if I'm only going to control. Absolutely wrong thing. I'm telling you, that's not going to control. You can wait and see in the next 2 months. This numbers is going to surge. I'm very sorry to state that it's not going to be. Peak is yet to come. It has to have certain level only when we feel as human beings. Oh, some of my friend is affected. My neighbor is affected. This street somebody is affected. I need to be careful. That fear has to settle in. It is
Yeah.
not government because says I am going to be careful means then I will not wear a mask the moment I am ready to go out. This is what we are seeing very commonly in India. So my viewpoint is that I think we should allow the people to own. And that when they own, what will happen is then the economy will recover. They will very carefully come. There is no restrictions. You come and go, but you manage your kind of thing. I will do all the facilities required for people to commute safely. And I think that is a role if government takes shift, quickly economy will recover. Job loss will also kind of will come out is my viewpoint.
I think that sort of covers most of the questions in terms of general specific. But somebody wanted to know, most multinationals have a huge R&D spend budget as a percentage of their revenues or top line. So what is CavinKare's sort of ballpark R&D budget as a percentage? Does it match up to the MNCs, or since you've been much faster in producing products, is it much higher than the spend that MNCs have as a percentage?
It used to be higher. Nowadays, it has come down. Now we spend 2% of our turnover.
And you mentioned that the 50 paise sachet from 1998 to 2020 has remained as 50 paise and still having a gross margin of 45%. So everybody wants to know what's the secret behind that.
That's what I said. It's a phenomenal cost control. So, the productivity, how do you manage productivity? How do you drive that? How do you have the control of this machine has to produce this much? And whether it is producing every shift like that, every day is it aggregating to produce like that. If you start mapping that, then it will be easier. So that I think is very important to look at how you are able to very closely monitor productivity and remove unnecessary wastage in productivity, and also too much of people also in the pipeline. So it's maximum automation. If you look at bulk negotiation of raw material, and therefore we are able to kind of negotiate at a price, and we are also very efficient. We are also very efficient in buying raw materials ahead. You know that these are some kind of things. The material, these are globally imported raw materials. When sometimes it is going kind of this thing through it goes it goes up and down. So every year it goes up and down kind of thing. When it goes down, we will block for the next 12 months.
Okay.
So that way our raw material price is assured. What raw material prices quotes at the time and what we buy will be at least 15 to 20% lower. So consistently we are able to predict that cycle and able to buy. But this time I think it is a new low is coming. We are seeing whether this is the low or some more low is going to come. But anyway, we started blocking for the next this thing. That means 2021 December. Till then we started now blocking at a low price. If the market recovers, say if October, November it started coming back, the material prices will go up. At that time, we would have bought what we have blocked at a low price will help us for the next 1.5 years. These are secrets in terms of buying efficiency, bulk buying, and play it very well in terms of productivity are the name of the game.
That's interesting. As one of the last questions, what is your take on what sort of industries do you see coming as majorly successful during this COVID time and innovating and coming out? Any industries that you would think would evolve in this COVID times?
I think quite a lot of you have all seen. I have nothing new to predict. The mask industry is this thing. All the medical related things are very much in demand. Mask, anything related to health and hygiene, sanitizers, washing, cleaning of floor cleaner, all this thing, cloth sanitizers, you name it. Anything related to sanitization is going to work. Anything that will boost the immunity or health, this is going to be much more healthier. It will help me to fight against corona. People are going to buy. So those are some of the things that we need to look at in terms of to get into is what I would say. Very clearly, some products are going down the lane during this COVID time. Some are really shooting up. And I think those health and hygiene products are very important thing that to piggyback on is what I would say. And also one interesting thing I would say, the shopping behavior of consumer is now, government is not allowing more than 5 people to go and shop in a supermarket or department store, self-service supermarkets. And because of that, their sales is coming down. So with that kind of this thing, what happens is the neighborhood kirana stores are doing well. So that is a kind of this thing. They are doing phenomenal sales. They are very happy. They never used to sell this kind of a sales. Across India, there is the same phenomenon. So having seen that, a lot of people started putting more outlets and they are succeeding fast. This is what we are seeing. So my prediction is that at least India used to have about 1 crore outlets, 10 million retail outlets.
Yeah.
Okay, this kirana stores would be, at least if you look at a sizable portion of that, you can expect a 20% jump in these outlets. Modern trade, contrary, it will shrink in these times, because some of them will go bankrupt. Nobody will be having the guts to open another modern trade because this is not the time. So they will shrink in size, whereas the kirana stores will grow in size by 20%. Because anybody who floats, even tomorrow you wanted to float one Naveen, I guarantee you, you will succeed.
Okay.
So the investment, you are ready to invest 10-15 lakhs and put a smaller this thing across the counter, kind of 5 lakhs is sufficient, 4-5 lakhs is sufficient. Comfortably, including rent, advance and putting the stocks. A lot of people, companies will come and give on credit. And you will coolly make close to about 80,000 to 90,000 a month net of expenses, which is a possibility. And that's the way it's growing. It's going. And I think till pandemic is over, this is the way it will go. For the next 8 to 12 months time, it is easy to succeed. After that, if you have talent, you will sustain in that trade.
And before we wind up, just one last question in terms of how do you keep all your employees motivated and always supercharged?
I think freedom of expression is one of our core values. People talk freely. People talk their mind. And there is no hierarchy in our organization in terms of that. They call me CKR. Somebody who joined yesterday has to call me only CKR. So that's the culture of the kind of thing. So everybody is called by first name. One. But that's not the very important thing. Why we insist on that is people are comfortable, open enough to call each other. And therefore, freedom, free flow of ideas without any fear of hierarchy will flow in. It's very fundamental. The next thing that we do is, if this free exchange of idea happens, people will not have reason to lose the kind of thing, lose interest. They will say, most of the time the frustration comes, yeah, I have some ideas, I'm not able to reach to the right persons in the organization. I'm not heard. It's a very fundamental frustration. If you are heard, you know, you can talk to, if you have an idea, if you have a frustration, if you have anything to save cost, you can talk to anyone in the organization and nobody can take, including your supervisor, cannot take it offensively. And that's a very welcome thing. So that, I think it was very difficult to create. Fortunately, we are able to create that. That makes a lot of people to thrive, though also we don't punish failures. Failures, we only say that failures are part of your journey. If you repeatedly do the same mistakes, then we will say we are very wary of that person, because you don't learn from that mistake. You do new mistakes and learn, most welcome. We have lost crores of money by some of the employees who did mistake, but we said don't make the same mistake next time. Go about doing it. It's okay. So the freedom of ability to kind of experiment, freedom of expression, freedom to fail, I think is all very important thing. Those are the reasons for us to keep our colleagues motivated.
So thanks a lot, CKR. It's been a really interesting session. And I think enough ideas to mull over the weekend and see how we come out and how we implement these ideas that you've given us. So thanks a lot. Ajit, you want to add a few words before
What can I say? You know, brilliant session, CKR, and great many learnings for us and all the listeners. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ajit. It's so nice of you. Thanks.
And thanks Nirmal and Divya for coordinating this whole session.
Yeah, thanks, Nirmal, and bye to David from Germany.
Yeah.
Bye, David. Thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.